Good morning, Year 8. I hope you have had a really lovely half term. Apologies that I can't be back in the classroom with you just yet, but I will be back for our lesson face to face on Thursday. Until then, we have some lovely recorded lessons, which I think is important because it means that we can just pick up and carry on from where we left off last term. And we're still going to be able to cover all of the information that we normally would in a Mastery Monday session. So the first thing you need to make sure that you've got, please, are your red books. Remember, we complete the Monday sessions in our red exercise books. You're going to need a pen to write with, a ruler, and it would also be useful to have a different coloured pen for correcting and self-marking. When you've got everything you need, please write Mastery Monday as your title and copy down today's date. Okay, so I'm going to give you a rule now for using commas in a sentence. I'm going to repeat the rule twice, and then I would like you to repeat that rule back to me. So the rule is this: when you combine two sentences with the word but, you put a comma before the word but. Listen, I'll say that again. When you combine two sentences with the word but, you put a comma before the word but. Okay. After 3, I want you to say that all at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to leave it up to the teacher in the room to judge whether we said that well enough or not. I'll say it one more time and we can do one more practice. When you combine two sentences with the word but, you'd put a comma before the word but. Okay, on the count of 3, we'll repeat back. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. So we're going to put that rule into practice now by copying and completing the following 3 sentences. We have the spider scared me, but I had to catch it. Climbing the tall was hard work, but the view was worth it. The sea looks inviting, but can be dangerous. Please write out those 3 sentences and put a comma where it needs to go. Pause the video and do that now, please. Okay, so it's useful to grab a different coloured pen at this point so that we can check and correct our answers. So we should have, in the first one, a capital T, obviously, for the beginning of the sentence. We should have a comma here before the word but, and a full stop at the end. Can you check that you have all 3 things correct, please? In the second sentence, we should have a capital C to start, a comma, again here, before the word but, and a full stop to finish. And finally, in the third sentence, a capital letter at the start. Remember, this is a checking process, so if you've missed a capital letter, now's the time to add it in. We need a comma here after the word but, and a full stop at the end. Great. And we're ready to move on. So, today's lesson is about using noun phrases to create imagery. In fact, we've been looking at nouns throughout our Mastery Monday session so far, and really thinking about how we can use them in a variety of different ways to describe and create interesting settings and characters. So today is all about the noun phrase. Let's recap what that is. A noun phrase is a word or group of words that contain a noun, and they work together to form the subject, the object, or the prepositional phrase in a sentence. So here are some examples. The following are all noun phrases. We have the road. Okay. We have a busy road, a dangerously busy road, a dangerously busy road near a children's playground. So we can see here that noun phrases don't just have to be 1 or 2 words, they might be much longer, but they are built around the noun, in this case the noun road, and we have words added to them, whether it's before an adjective like busy, or an adverb, dangerously, and an adjective, or we have a prepositional phrase added after the noun to build on that sentence. So I want you to copy down the following 3 sentences. And in each one, you're being asked to identify the noun phrase. Your starting point would be to look for the noun, and then look at the words that are being used either before to describe it or after to tell us where something is happening. Pause the video, copy down the 3 sentences, and underline the noun phrases. Okay. Once you're ready to mark, grab yourself a different colour pen and let's check. Let's start with A. Hands up if you can identify the noun that our noun phrase is going to be built around. Okay, so the word first of all there is night. I can identify that as being part of a noun phrase because it has some adjectives added before it to extend it. So we have the quiet, calming night. That's our first noun phrase. Well done if you identified it. We also have the noun stars, but we can see that there are no other words built onto that, so it's not a noun phrase. In B, hands up if you can identify the noun that has a noun phrase linked to it. This time we should have identified that it was the football season. And in fact, our noun phrase is built before it. We're told the end of the football season. Give yourself a tick if you got that one right. Now let's look at C. Hands up again if you can identify the noun. And keep that hand up if you've also identified the noun phrase. Okay, so this time we have the man is our noun, and the noun phrase is after this. So the man with the enthusiastic hair. Yeah, that would be right. With the enthusiastic hair. Okay, give yourself a tick if you got that one right. So being able to identify the noun phrase is the first step. One way to do it is to make sure that we are not identifying the verb. Let's clear this. So I can see in this one, for example, that in the quiet, calming night, I watched. So here is our verb. So I know that that is going to be separate to the noun phrase. The football season makes me sad. Okay, so we've got the verb. So the noun phrase must come before that. And in this one, the man with the enthusiastic hair, and we've got the verb here, bottled. So I know that that's not going to be part of the noun phrase. So that could be a useful way of looking at, can I identify the noun phrase, checking that it doesn't contain a verb. We're going to have a go at crafting some noun phrases for effect. And we're going to look at some rules for doing so. So just watch and listen first. You can turn a noun phrase into a noun phrase by adding adjectives. So this will help to create a more specific image of the noun. We normally put adjectives before the noun, as in this example. The noun is the puppy, but we've said it is the energetic, fluffy puppy who bounded up to its owner. So the noun phrase here is built before the noun, and we can see it stops there at the verb, doesn't it? Bounded. You can also develop noun phrases using a relative pronoun. So the most common of these are who and which. And these give extra information about the noun. They normally come after it. So look at the example. We have the man here is our noun, but we've got the man who robbed the bank. And again, we've got the verb seemed, so showing us the noun phrase ends here. The man who robbed the bank seemed to have no remorse. But there are other things that I can do too. Let's look at 2 more examples. I can use a preposition to position, something in the text. So like, it tells us where something takes place. Is it in or on? Is it underneath or next to? So a good way to turn a noun into a noun phrase is using a prepositional phrase. This gives a clear image to the reader about the positioning of the noun in time or place. So in this case we have the woman, our noun, and we have our preposition in. The woman in the car, we have our verb following it, beeped her horn. So this is our noun phrase. We could also use the preposition with, again to highlight a particular feature of a character or an object. The man with the impossibly large nose introduced himself. Can you see all of the underlined part is our noun phrase because it's built around the noun, the man. We found the verb here, introduced. That's where our noun phrase is stopped here. We need to make a list of the options that we've got for building noun phrases. So pause the video. So now we need to make a list in our books to help us. We're going to write down some tips for building noun phrases. Pause the video here and copy down the 4 tips. Go. Our task is to develop the following nouns into noun phrases to create an effect. So, our first one is a man, and all we've been told is that they are someone irritating. Our second is a flower, and we must describe it as being something beautiful. And our third is a toddler, someone who's described as being very naughty. Why don't you have a go with a partner at creating some phrases for each sentence? Give it a try now. Talk to the person next to you and describe one of these nouns. Okay, let's put this into practice and writing now. So I'm going to use a sentence structure that looks like this. We have a man, someone we're told is irritating, and I want to describe them. So I'm going to say the something man, so an adjective or 2 must go here. And I'm also going to build on it with a relative pronoun using the word who, and say what was he doing that was particularly irritating. Okay, over to you to complete your sentence. Now we can look at the flower. Remember, the flower is described as being beautiful. So I'm going to use 2 things to build my noun phrase. I'm going to use 2 adjectives to describe my flower, and then say where it is, in. Something something flower, in. Have a go at writing that sentence construction now. And finally we have the toddler, someone naughty. So we're going to use the noun phrase, the toddler, with. We're going to say what it is that they have that makes them naughty. Okay, I'm going to have a go at writing mine, and then we'll check your answers and mine in just a few minutes.